P not P. And I would say that, yes, this is going to be conflicting with one another, which just typically means a contradiction.
What do you mean a contradiction in the absence of a thing?
It's just going to be it's just going to be, yeah.
What? No, it just kind of sounded like gibberish.
Wait, how is it gibberish? What did I say? Can you repeat back?
A contradiction is the absence of a thing.
No, it's going to be an absent of, like if we say something exists and doesn't exist, it's going to be one in absent of the other. So both of them
the
cannot happen
expression of
a
proposition and its negation.
And I don't think I directly said this, but sure, that's fine.
Well, that's
like clearly what I
inferred.
Wouldn't
fixating on the point.
Wouldn't like negation imply like some like fault, like some like Boolean factor that's opposite of like the proposition? So like if you're saying like if a proposition is like a statement that could be true or false, I think like a negation would like imply like, you know, like of the opposite. So it'd just be like I don't see how a statement that doesn't have like a truth factor associated with it could be contradictory. Like, I mean, explain how. Like, I'm still just lost.
Because if we just do it in like a formal sense, like P not P, and we're not like presupposing a truth, well, both cannot happen at the same time. They're going to be opposites. So therefore, given opposites, we would just say it's kind of like a contradiction. So that's just going to be the view there. However, it was just fixating on a point. Like I clearly define any kind of contradiction as Lucario agreed with. So I think fixating on this was just incoherent, to be honest.
I'm incoherent?
No, I said focusing on this point would be incoherent. It's not going to contradict like any viewpoint I have. If you want clarification on what I mean, we could definitely get into that. But to argue on a contradiction just seems silly to me when it's already agreed upon.
I mean,
so I don't
no,
get
we
it.
disagree. No, this guy actually thinks we agree on it, which is crazy to me. That's how lost he is.
Yeah, I'm saying, it can occur with a true statement, or it could be an absent of a truth statement. That's fine.
And I'm saying it's like exclusive towards truth statements. So we obviously disagree.
Yeah, but the claims being made, there's no true or false statement that can be verified. So
no, I just want to get clarification. You know, we disagree now. Like you're tracking that part.
When it came to the proposition, how can we assume something to be true in lack of evidence?
Okay, no, I just want to make it very clear that we disagree on what a contradiction
based without an appearance, how can we assume something to be true under intuitionalism?
No, I just want to make it very clear that we disagree on what a contradiction is, right?
True, correct?
No, I just want to make it very clear that we disagree on what a contradiction is.
Questions or what's going on?
No, I just want to make it very I just want to make it very clear that we disagree.
Do you understand that we cannot form a proposition or assume something to be true without lack of evidence, correct?
I think you can assume something to be true without lack of evidence. Sure.
Without an appearance?
Sure. I think you can assume something without an appearance. Depends on what you mean by appearance.
Can you give me an example?
Giving you an example of something where you assume something to be true without an appearance?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, sure. I could just assume. I'm just saying, like, it's logically possible for me to do this. I could just assume that there's a vampire in my closet, even though it doesn't appear to be the case. When I evaluate the evidence, it doesn't suggest this at all. It actually doesn't seem to be the case, but I could just assume it.
So one, that's going to be based. Okay. So under that view, in absent of appearance, you're saying that you can make this assumption and it also be true at the same time?
Yeah, it could be true.
Really, it could be true?
Yeah, it could be true. And do you know what can means here?
I don't know what you mean by can.
Oh, yeah, I'll just clarify that. I just mean that...
Do vampires exist?
Oh, did you want me to clarify on what can means?
Yeah, sure.
I know you're getting giddy right now.
Exist.
Okay, cool. So I'll just clarify what can means. I'm just talking, when I say can, I'm just saying something's possible. Do you know what possible means, Scooter?
Sure. Are you doing a quiz or are you just going to clarify? Because we could just do quizzes all day.
It's actually a pop quiz. Yeah.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean by possible? Because you disagreed on the modality of possible last time.
Just means can happen. So can you get to a point, or are we just going to quiz each other on?
Well, I defined
explaining something, and this is just
that would be circular. Well, that would be circular because if I define possible as can, even though I just defined can.
So what is your point?
No, well, I defined can, and then we went to possibility. So do you understand that if we went to possibility from can, then we shouldn't go back to can because that would be circular. I understand you want to dodge the point, so I'll just tell you what possible means. So in this context,
I
modality
asked
is logic.
it's okay.
I'm using a logical possibility. I'm using a logical modality when I say possible in this context. Do you know what that means? I'm just saying that there's no logical contradiction in there being, like, the proposition being true. So the proposition that there are vampires can exist, and it's possible that vampires exist under the logic modality.
Sure. So you're saying it's a possibility vampires can't exist, and what's the evidence?
Yeah. The evidence is that there's no logical contradiction in there being vampires.
So just because there's no logical contradiction, that means that something can actually exist. That's incoherent.
Under the definition
That's an argument from arrogance.
Jeez Louise. Under the definition that I
Hold on.
gave
Can you
you,
define
yes.
an argument from arrogance, please?
An argument from arrogance?
Yeah, sure.
Holy
Unicorns
fuck,
exist
dude.
because I have no logical contradiction.
Bro.
Yeah,
so
that's
wait. I just want to make it clear. I just want to make it
This is
clear. You
incoherent
understand it's incoherent. Wow.
Yeah, it's
modality.
Wait, I understand what Lucario's saying.
Modality.
Lucario, I understand
Hold
what
on,
you're
can you
saying.
explain to me, in absent of a logical contradiction, then this presupposes that something exists?
I mean,
this
you
is-
just stated it. If there's no logical contradiction, then it's logically possible.
Yeah, he's presupposing
No,
that
not
it
logically
exists,
possible.
and
I'm talking about physically possible in like a real world.
Wait, that's not. Wait,
the-
I just already defined. Why didn't you say it? You conveniently just changed the modality
no,
without telling
when I-
no,
anybody.
yeah,
Scooter, man. Scooter.
Wait, no,
Come
because
on.
I'm the one that asked the question. Hold on, I asked the question. So when I mean by exists, I meant physical. So that's not even answering.
Look. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. You asked me the question, and I knew, and I know what you do, Scooter. So I clarified on the terms before I answered the question, and then I
didn't
got you to agree with the
stuff.
term.
I clarified what I meant. So
but you also didn't. You also didn't feel like stating that you disagreed.
Can unicorns exist in absent of a contradiction?
Physically speaking, giving the premises or like
It's
the
taking
actual like
someone's-
facts.
No,
that
I
you
think
have
the problem is
while
you're
I was
conflating
answering.
answering questions. So what I mean by my question is how the question's supposed to be answered. You can't change like the basis of a question to fit like your answer. I'm asking you directly.
Sorry, you asked me.
In absent of a logical contradiction, is it going to be physically possible for a vampire to exist?
Physically possible? Given the state that we live in now, I don't think it's possible that they exist.
Okay, sure. So if someone assumes a vampire's in their closet, would you call this rational or irrational?
I'd obviously call it irrational, but you just asked me if they can do it, and I
So
said, look,
if
they
they
can do it.
assume a vampire, and hold on, why would it be irrational?
It'd be irrational because they have an unjustified belief that also entails a contradiction, and the contradiction of possibility that
that's
we're using
my view.
is not of logic.
That's
Oh,
all
really?
I am saying. So you understand what I'm saying.
But you understand that you have propositions in here. But you understand that we use propositions in here, and we use
you're just
propositions
taking
that we
a
gain from
meta
reality.
conversation.
And
Wait, but you're just
I'm
like-
just gonna
hold on, you're
finish.
just taking
it's
a
fine.
meta
I need
conversation
no. I need to explain like basic things to you, Scooter. So just let me talk,
I think-
okay? You're gonna learn a lot from it. You're gonna learn a lot if you just let me
This is
talk.
meta.
So, oh, thank you so much. So yeah, under the propositions that we already used, we can derive a contradiction in physical modality here. You can do that with the statement that they're like vampires because of like the physical premises that we've had. But those premises are propositions. So you gain reality as a proposition. You gain facts about reality, which can be interpreted as
I don't
propositions. And then you can
disagree.
further derive, and then you can derive a contradiction.
why are
from
we
those. But you
arguing
have
on
yet.
something
But
we agree on? This is
wait.
just
I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
We
But I
agree.
just demonstrated to you. I just demonstrated to you how this notion of
Why does
contradiction
Lucario do this?
necessitates. It also
We agree with
necessitates.
this point.
It also
With this
necessitates
point.
propositions.
We
So you
agree.
have yet to give me. You have yet to give me a contradiction that invokes a contradiction without premises or
Yeah,
like
I
a
don't have to give you
proposition.
anything. We agree. What is your confusion?
Okay, do you want me to tell you the confusion?
No, we agree. You already said we agree. Why do
Okay,
you
so you
argue on
asked
things that
what
are
is
agreed?
your confusion, and you asked what is your confusion, and I wanted clarification because I thought you were going to interrupt me, and so I asked you, okay, do you want me to tell you the conclusion? And you said no. When you just asked me what's the confusion?
No, I said what is
Make
the
up your mind.
confusion, not the conclusion. Be clear with your words.
Okay, yeah, I said confusion. So do you want me to tell you the confusion?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so the confusion is you think that it's logically possible to have a contradiction. In fact, I'm not even going to say logically. You think it's analytically possible to have a contradiction
I
without
never said
propositions.
analytically. No.
Okay,
I said
do you
with
think it's possible?
modality, to be clear the other night.
Okay, what's the modality that you're using when you say that it's possible to have a contradiction without like propositions? What modality are you using?
Yeah, sure.
Logic isn't going to
so-
help you.
Wait, what? Okay. No, so I'm just saying, like, in absent of a true statement that can't be verified, physically speaking, it can be a contradiction without, I would say, a proposition. So this is just going to be like more of a symbolic form. Yeah, I'm saying, and we already agree that propositions can be represented by symbols. Like we could have P not P, for instance. You agreed with that point and you wanted to argue it. And then we're agreeing here, but you want to argue it as well. So one, I'm just saying a P not P does not represent a proposition. Let's just say it's an undetermined true or false statement. I would say then therefore, yeah, we can still have a contradiction within the view. And what I mean by contradiction is, hold on, what I mean in this concept or contextual understanding is just meaning opposite. So I'm not using contradiction for proposition to be the same as a contradiction without a proposition. So therefore, this is not even one. I don't even know like what the point of this is. Like I'm using two different forms of a contradiction and two different meanings in two different contexts. Because hold on, all else is not equal in both of these instances. So regardless, we already agree. We could just move on in the debate and say, yeah, we'll just use the contextual understanding of a contradiction to mean like propositions, and we can move forward with the debate. But you're just fixating on this point, on an agreed upon point, which just seems to be just jargon at this point. Like you don't have a point in addressing any of this because we already agreed with the contextual definition of applying propositions within a contradiction. Like I already agree with you on this point. So I'm just confused, like what's going to be the purpose? Like we already agree propositions can be, have contradictions. So that's just
the confusion. The purpose is for me to articulate to you that you can't have a contradiction without propositions, and you attempted to give a contradiction without propositions by saying you can still have a contradiction with true or false statements that are undetermined whether they're true or false. But you understand that I understand that all statements are going to have a dichotomy of being true or false. It's a disjunction. I'm fine with saying that. And it can be undetermined. That's fine as well. But that's also a proposition, because a proposition is a truth or false statement.
So we're just going to debate on what a proposition is. And what was the topic of the debate?
Do you contend the definition of proposition? I didn't know I was going to debate on what a proposition is. Do you contend it?
We already agreed with the concept of the proposition within the contradiction. So we already agreed with this. So like, do you even remember what the debate was, or do you just get fixated on jargon? Because we easily
I remember what the debate is.
Hold on. We easily could have worked under the framework, right? Of just, yeah, in order to have a contradiction, there just needs to be a proposition. And we could have just moved with the debate. It just seems like you're fixating on things that are not even addressing my view. So,
okay, do you still affirm the hilarious belief that you can have a contradiction without proposition, Scooter? Do you still affirm that hilarious belief?
I would say it can be possible, sure. Yeah.
Oh, what modality are you using? Because apparently we have to clarify that. Because you're not using logic. We already clarified.
Hold on, Lucario, because now we're applying a different concept. Yeah, like Lucario, you were kind of agreeing with me under like the vampire analogy as well.
No. He denied. No. Unironically, he denied logic when I got. No. I got him on this point earlier, and he denied logic.
Wait, we can.
So you're using another modality?
To ask what modality he's using. Like,
wait, you guys are laughing, but Lucario, like,
the chat wants me to talk about particularism, so let's wrap this up.
So hold on, Josh. Here's the problem, okay? Because Lucario is just kind of with the vampire analogy is kind of proving my point, and I'm surprised you guys like allow. I don't know. This just doesn't seem like a productive debate style to me, at least. But Josh,
I think this is all just like a rhetoric fest, but like.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too productive.
But Josh, because what I meant under like, yeah, this can happen or it's possible to happen, it's just applying the same concept that like Lucario was with the vampire. So
logic isn't going to help you here. The modality of logic isn't going to help you here.
Wait, just really quick. You could say it's possible.
I'm saying it can happen. I'm not saying it's impossible. All I'm saying is it's not impossible. I'm just saying it's not impossible.
Just really quick. So generally. There's kind of some sort of irony here that your notion that there isn't necessarily a contradiction implies an analytic contradiction under the orthodox notion of what contradictions are. But I mean, it's kind of circular to say your notion implies a contradiction based on the orthodox notion of contradictions that you seem to reject. So I'm not really sure.
Wait, hold on. How does in agreement mean reject? Explain that to me, Josh, because that was incoherent. How does an agreement mean reject?
How does
we already agreed on this
reject? So generally,
so let's be clear with our words.
Really quick. So generally, contradictions are expressed as the expression of both a propositional attitude and its negation. Okay, but if you reject this notion of contradictions and you haven't expressed a competing view, I'm not sure how to
haven't rejected.
portray the idea of a
This
view
isn't
portraying a
fair.
contradiction if you don't have the same notion of what contradictions are that I hold.
Yeah, so Josh, this is 100% going to be false. So one, I already said I agree, and I do accept that propositions, when it comes to true or false statements, we can include a contradiction viewpoint or a logical principle to show a flaw within logic. So that's an agreed upon, not a rejection. Two, if Lucario can make an argument, well, this can happen, or even though like a vampire could be in the closet, we can assume this to be true under like a theoretical framework. I can just say this can happen to answer the question in good faith and still agree that, yeah, well, I can agree with propositionals when it comes to contradictions, and then we can move forward with a debate. Like, yeah, I don't know, honestly, okay? I think it's better, I think it's good to say, yeah, I don't know, so therefore it's not going to be impossible, so a contradiction might be possible to have without a proposition. That's all I'm making the statement.
So are you aware?
So I don't see how that's a problem.
Are you aware of what like intentional definitions express?
What about T schema?
Yeah, so like an intentional definition, at least from my like understanding, is just going to be like a definition that's going to be in like a particular case. So like if we're talking, for instance, about like abortion, then therefore we're just going to imply the intensive definition, typically by like, I don't know, the medical institution view, I would say. So it's just going to be in like a
That's
case.
not the notion of intentional definition in the literature.
Well, that's my understanding.
Well, I'm not shitting on you for having a different notion. I'm just saying, like, generally intentional definitions are going to be outlined as definitions that express sufficient and or necessary conditions for a concept, and that's going to be opposed to something like an extensional definition, which links all the parts of a set, or like an ostensive definition, which points to a particular notion of a set. Right, like
yeah, it's just,
like if we're expressing
sure. Without the jargon, it just means an aim or a plan within the definition.
And we're saying that the expression of a proposition and its negation is going to be both the sufficient and necessary set of conditions for something to be a contradiction. And you're saying that you reject this notion, then I'm just going to say I'm not aware of what your notion of contradictions are. If I'm expressing an intentional definition and you disagree with the criteria that I'm expressing.
Well, one, even so, if we're going to use intensive
Oh my god, this is gonna go on forever. We have 5 minutes, so me and Amdir want to talk about something.
No, dead ass Amdir, you might want to like get your
like
final thoughts.
even so, like sure, but I never intended. But here's going to be the thing, Josh. If I could give a rebuttal, one, I wasn't even in the context because.
Do you have to like give a rebuttal, Scooter?
I am right now. Like what?
Do you have to though? Like, is it logically necessary?
So are we
to give
just
a
going to get
rebuttal?
personal attacks, or can I just respond? Like, why do
Alright.
people do this?